Thank you to the lovely viewers who requested today's video, which is all about my best tips for how to apply sunscreen on top of a full face of makeup. Now, full disclosure, I do a minimalist makeup look, okay? As you've probably noticed in my sunscreen review videos, I put on a foundation, I apply a setting powder, I do concealer, I do a light eye makeup, I do eyebrows, sometimes I put bronzer on, sometimes blush. And yes, I do reapply sunscreen throughout my day on top of my makeup. So I have some great sunscreens to recommend to you today and some great tips. Hi, I'm Sean, Melanoma Mom here. Welcome to my channel. I do sunscreen reviews every week to help save you money and also help find the sunscreen that works best for you. And occasionally I do videos like this one. Y'all, it's 2025 and I am so thankful that we have so many more options than when I was diagnosed with melanoma in 2021 and felt like a deer caught in headlights. I didn't know where to start. I don't remember there being this many options. And in just 4.5 years, I feel like we have come a long way. There are so many more sunscreen brands. I think a lot of people are starting to get the hint that sunscreen is important and protecting our skin is important. And I know it's difficult to find ways to apply sunscreen on top of your makeup. So I hope that you walk away with at least one, hopefully more, but at least one tip that you would like to try at home to reapply your sunscreen throughout the day. Now, I must say, the sunscreen that you choose will affect the finish of your makeup. So keep that in mind. Throughout this video, I tried to give suggestions on like a matte finish, a natural finish, or a glowy finish sunscreen to apply on top to give you a little more options. I'm also going to be suggesting pros and cons for each different method of applying sunscreen. And I'm also going to try and give you options for like those of you who want a mineral sunscreen option and those of you who don't mind a chemical UV filter option. And of course, a variety of price points, because like regular lotion sunscreens, other sunscreen options that we're talking about today, they come in a variety of price points. Let's start off with sun sticks because I feel like that is the most, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's the most well-known way to reapply sunscreen on top of your makeup is sun sticks. Pros, they're easy and quick to apply. You can easily keep them in your purse, in your back pocket, in a bag, because they're usually smaller in size and they don't melt as easily. They don't spill out of the container. They are a solid sunscreen product and there are a lot of options out there. If you're interested in a sunscreen stick, I will leave a video down below of my most recent sunscreen stick review video where I tried out a bunch of them. Cons. They can make your makeup move around because of the way you have to apply them. When you press them onto your face and you have to go back and forth multiple times in a sunscreen motion, most sunscreen chemists and dermatologist, I'm neither of those things. I am simply a melanoma survivor. Recommend 2 to 4 swipes back and forth to get the SPF on the stick. Our first instinct is just to apply one layer. If the sunscreen stick says SPF 50 and you only apply one layer, you will not get the SPF of 50. According to Lab Muffin Beauty Science, Michelle, she did an entire experiment on sunscreen sticks. I will leave that video linked below. However, this is one of 2 methods that I prefer to apply sunscreen throughout my day. I typically always have a sunscreen stick in my purse. I have normal, leaning, oily skin, and I live in a very humid climate. So in the summertime, I prefer a matte finish. With a full face of makeup and sunscreen already on, my skin tends to get oily throughout the day, so I like a sunscreen stick that has a matte finish and that will take that shine off my face without making it look too dry. So for a matte sunscreen stick, I suggest the Tokobo. I love this one. It's so great. Now for a natural, maybe glowy sunscreen, I think it's going to depend what skin type you have. I recommend the Abib. When I first tried this one, I didn't like it. But I recently took it to Disney World with me and absolutely loved applying it on top. This one is also an all chemical sunscreen. It covers a larger area of your face and it will leave a natural and almost sometimes glowy finish. It's moisturizing and it's also water resistant. So if you're looking for a good water resistant one, I suggest this one. Now, if you're looking for a mineral option, I either suggest the Kapari Sunstick that they just came out with in 2025. It's not my favorite, but if you need a one that doesn't have a white cast, you'll have a better chance with that one because it's more tinted and goes on clearer. However, I recommend the Make Prem Sunstick. It is mineral, matte, fragrance free. I'm currently using this one on my child. It does clump up a little bit around the outside of your hairline, and you will have to work harder to rub it in to get rid of the white cast. And I do think it's going to have a white cast on darker skin types, but I really love this one. It's a good option for sensitive skin and those of you who want a mineral UV sunstick. The Neutrogena ones are a better price point. Those are also really good. Again, they will leave a white cast on darker skin tones, but I like the Neutrogena. They have a soft touch, dry touch on the skin as well. They're not greasy either. So those are two good options. For water resistancy, if you're going to be in the pool, you want to reapply at the pool or the beach, I do love the Abib. That is my preferred one. The e.l.f., the new e.l.f. one, that Sun Touchable Sunstick that just came out this year is also really good. That one has more of a natural finish. It is a little greasier, but it's not too bad, and it's a better price point than the Abib. The Sunbum ones are also great too, but those tend to have a lot of fragrances in them. They are readily available. Those ones will work. They do feel greasier on the face. Those I find do sting my eyes. They roll into your eyes easier, the Sunbum ones. Okay, let's talk about SPF compacts. This is my second favorite way to reapply sunscreen on top of a full face of makeup. Pros, they're easy and typically quicker to apply. They're great to put in a bag or your purse. So you have two different types of the compacts, the ones that don't have any color at all and the ones that do have color. Now I prefer the ones that are kind of a foundation, makeup touch-up / sunscreen, but they do make ones that are just sunscreen ones, and I tend to not favor those. Every one I've tried I've not liked. I haven't found one that I've liked yet. So I'm going to be recommending the ones that are tinted / sunscreens. Cons, you do have to put 2 to 3 layers of these on your face to apply. So they can mess with the finish of your sunscreen unless you pick one that goes along with the foundation you're already wearing. If you're wearing a matte face and you want a matte sunscreen to reapply on top of it, as well as color, I suggest the Todi Solera Compact. It is SPF 50. It is a mineral-based sunscreen. It does come in a variety of tones. However, they all do lean orange, so note that. This is a very matte sunscreen. I cannot wear this one in cold weather in winter. It is too drying for my skin, but right now in the summer and the humidity, it works perfectly on my face. It takes that shine away and also adds color. I do find that this one builds up on itself, so think about that. It is a thicker, more putty consistency, but it presses into the skin really, really well and stays put. Now for a more natural finish that I think would also work well if you have like a glowy foundation underneath or if you have a natural foundation underneath, I suggest the Dior Compact. Now this one is pricey, but you do get a refill. So the price of it includes the full compact plus an additional refill. This one comes in, I want to say 3 shades. It is a more liquidy consistency. It presses into the skin really nice. It's not going to make your skin look dry at all. I find that this one does work better for drier skin. This is my go-to in the cold winter days, but I can also wear this one during the summer if I want a glowier look. It is also a mineral UV filtered sunscreen like the Toady, but the Dior leans more pinky beige. I don't have a cheaper compact option to recommend to you. I have not found one that I love. Okay, let's move on to powdered sunscreens. I love this method, especially for my child. Pros are that it's easy and quick to apply. Out of all of them, this one is gonna be the quickest. It's less messy. It's a thinner bottle that you can just throw in your purse or your bag or even a pocket. The cons is again, you have to apply 2 to 3 layers of it to get the SPF protection. And honestly, you can't really tell how much of the powder you are applying to your face. That is the biggest con. It is very difficult to tell on your skin because it blends into your skin so well, it's hard to tell how much you're putting on. Another con is you have to clean the brush. You know, you want to make sure that you keep that brush head clean. A lot of the brush heads are detachable, and so make it easier. They do come with cleaning instructions. I only have one to recommend to you. There are several on the market. I have only ever tried 2 brands. The one I'm going to recommend to you is the Brush On Block. It comes in translucent and also some darker shades. If you wanted to add a tint to your face, they have those as well. It does go on matte, but I don't feel like it's drying, even though it is a mineral UV filtered sunscreen. I haven't heard anybody who has had dry skin say that it's too drying for their face. I could be wrong, so let us know down below. They usually come with, the Brush On Blocks come with refills. So if you don't want to replace the entire thing, you just twist off the bottom and it comes with, you can purchase a refill. This one is available on Amazon as well as their website. I've been using this one for years. It comes in an SPF 30 or an SPF 50. I find that it sits very nicely on the face. It will mattify your skin, and it's great for your part line as well as ears. I love this one. Kids also love applying a brush on sunscreen. Now, there are, like I said, there are other companies that make powdered sunscreens. I just have not tried them. Another popular way to reapply sunscreen on top of makeup is through sprays. And this is my least favorite way to reapply sunscreen. The pros are that it's easy and quick, right? You just spritz, 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 and you're ready to go. However, cons are you can't tell how much you're applying. Can't with accuracy say that you have applied enough. I have tested out sunscreen sprays before, and to get that SPF on the bottle, because it always says apply generously, it usually typically leaves your face feeling very heavy, sometimes even very sticky because you've applied a lot of it to get the SPF on the bottle. It's not as simple, and then you're out the door. I think it's supposed to be 7 seconds of spraying. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I tried a sunscreen spray, but there is a certain length of time that you're supposed to spray your face. And every time I do this, it makes my face feel heavy and greasy or oily and sticky. Another con is if you're wearing mascara, I have not found one yet that doesn't melt the mascara off your face, even waterproof mascara. If you're spraying it, you have to kind of hold your hands over it, but you need a third hand to spray it, or if you try and keep your eyes closed. Anyways, it just never works for mascara for me. If you found a spray that does not melt your mascara off, tell us about it down below, please. It's also difficult to travel with because a lot of times these will leak out of the bottles. And so if you're putting it in your purse or you've got it in a bag or something, they do typically leak. And then it gets sticky around the bottle and then it's in your purse. Yeah. Most of them, I think all the ones that I've tried, they're all chemical UV filters, so they also sting and burn your eye area. I don't have any recommendations for you because I haven't ever actually found a sunscreen spray. The ones that are specifically for your face, I haven't found one that I enjoy. So unfortunately, I don't have a recommendation for you in this category. But wait, I have one more category of recommendations for you. The last way that you can reapply sunscreen on top of your face is with lotions, and I do prefer it over sprays. Pros, the same sunscreen that you have applied to your face, you can potentially also reapply on top of your sunscreen without having to repurchase a new bottle. Another pro is you can also tell how much you are reapplying. You could measure the sunscreen out. You can feel it on your hands when you put it on your hands and then apply it to your face. You can see how much you are applying and get closer to that SPF that is on the bottle. Cons. It can get messy, right? It's on your fingers. If you're trying to avoid reapplying sunscreen without getting on your hands, this is not the way to do it because you definitely need to use your hands. And it takes longer to apply sunscreen on top of your makeup this way. Now, here's my tip on how to do that. Put your sunscreen in your hand and you work in small sections and you just pat, 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 pat on top. This will enable you to disturb your makeup the least amount if you're patting. So don't smush and rub, pat, gentle pats. So you're gonna have to do this all of your face gently and typically more than one layer. So for a matte finish lotion sunscreen that I have personally tried and have done this with multiple times is the Misha Soft Finish. However, this one is difficult to find. It was always my favorite to reapply on top of a full face of makeup because it has a primer-like smoothing effect as well as the mattifying effect, but it's difficult to find now. Paula's Choice Tinted is also a really great one. That one's an SPF of 30. It is mineral UV filters. This sunscreen can be drying to some people. I find it on my skin to have a natural finish with a slight amount of mattifying properties, but I do find it just perfectly on your face. Some people find it too light. It only comes in one shade. It is tinted. Some people find it too light. Some people find it too dark. So it only works for a small group of people. Now there is this other Paula's Choice one for acne prone skin. It is chemical UV filters. It is a thinner formula. I recently tested this one out and I find that it applies beautifully on top of your face if you want a more natural looking finish. Another natural finish on a budget-friendly price point is the Aveeno in the SPF 60. You typically buy that one on Amazon. I'll leave it linked below. That one also is difficult to find sometimes, but I love applying that on top of makeup. It does burn my eyes because it's all chemical UV filters, so I can't put it around my immediate eye area. But it is also water and sweat resistant. Try yours out. It may work. Just test it out one day and see if you can get away with the pat method and see how you like it. You may love it. That way you don't have to buy a separate product. Again, everything that I've talked about will be linked in the description box below. Today is a great day to wear sunscreen. I hope you found this one helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.